guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Okay, so this video is eventually going to turn into the Rainbow Level 10 Link Showcase for Android 8, HACCHAN, 8, or whatever the hell we want to call him. I think that this guy is probably pretty definitively the best banner unit. I think it's probably really only between him and Piccolo. You know, let me use this guy a little bit more first before we can make a true determination, but this guy does seem insane. Now, right now, I have him 55% because I'm going to use him with Kid Goku in the Kid Goku 55% showcase. The characters really are sort of made to be run together, right? Very similar to the Ginyu Force, where it's like, Ginyu is great, right? But, like, you need to use him with his other units. Android 8 and Kid Goku is kind of the same thing. It's like, they're great. Kid Goku will be probably a bit better by himself away from Android 8. But Android 8 really, like, gets crazy with Kid Goku around, right? It's a huge buff. So, gonna Dokkan Awaken him. I'm gonna use him at 55% in the Kid Goku showcase. Then we'll come back, we'll Rainbow this guy. We'll get him to level 10 links, and we'll see how busted this guy is. Alright, guys, we're back. Let's go ahead and give the Rainbow Star to Android 8. I think one of the more impressive units that they've released. I did give him a lot of dodge and a lot of defense. Again, it gets tiresome, but people are going to be super mad about this like always, or they're going to say, oh my god, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, he's so stupid, Android 8 already is so tanky, he tanks everything. It's like, yeah, well, I don't know, maybe the Android team is not that good, and I want to use this guy on the Android team. Did you ever think of that, where there's no Kid Goku, right? This Android 8 being used as a defensive character in these other situations is still going to be solid, and the dodge can still help him, and there's going to be even stronger bosses coming in the future. Giving a unit whose sole purpose is to tank, which is what this Android 8's job is, extra defense and dodge to live is a good idea. There will be super attacks he would eat turn 1, slot 1 that he would take damage from, but if he dodges it, that'll save us HP. I have had so many run clears with a barely amount of health left or with dodges. Like, I know what I'm doing. People are too negative against dodge. It is very viable and is very good. As these bosses get more ridiculous with the bullshit like Cell Max, it's good to prioritize defense. This Android 8, he could do... Honestly, I feel like this guy's damage is fine, considering how tanky he is, right? It's not like he's doing AGL Gold and Frieza damage, but I like building this guy defensively. In particular, I really did want those defensive equips on him, because remember, you know, he is a character that's going to have his 80% damage reduction, when, you know, in his best situation next to Kid Goku past turn 5. And giving him those extra defensive equips, I think, will really raise the value of that damage reduction, right? And then, of course, I have the dodge as well now to fall back on, which can certainly save us some damage if he dodges a super attack, you know, depending upon the situation. I like it. I don't need this guy to do damage. I don't need to min-max every point of crit and additional. I am pleading with people to understand dodge is not bad like they think it is. It's like, I don't know if it's from when the potential system first came out and dodge felt very pointless, it was unneeded, but that's not the way it is now. Dodge is very valid. So let's jump in and let's test out what is, I think, the best banner unit, rainbowed at Link level 10. Alright guys, so we are here on a rotation with our boy Android 8. So Android 8, right, by this point, I've used him quite a bunch in a lot of red zone stages, and I feel like I sort of have some good thoughts on this guy. I do think that this Android 8 is spectacular, incredible, amazing. This, to me, is the design for this guy is absolutely perfect. I love it so much, right? Like, they dropped Dokkan Fest Kid Goku, and he's really good. Again, I love Kid Goku's design too, but Kid Goku, like, no unit in the game can really do everything by themselves, right? It's not 2016 where STR Gogeta is God, right? Like, that's not how it's gonna work. So they dropped Kid Goku, who has virtually no help on his teams, right? I mean, if we take a look at the Dragon Ball Saga team, this is not exactly what I would consider good. Hell no, right? So they dropped Kid Goku, and then they gave him... Kid Goku, for the most part, is going to be at his best, either in slot 2 or 3. Depending upon the situation, the boss, you can rock Kid Goku in slot 1 at times, right? You just got to be a little bit cautious about how you do it. But they gave Kid Goku this Android 8, who, for the most part, can just hammer down that first slot. if they're going to release banner units, right, with these big premium Dokkan Fest exclusive characters that they want people to summon for, I think there is 2 things they have to do with the banner units. Number 1 is you create a character like Jason Birder. You create a character like Jason Birder or Android 19 and 20, right? Like, they kind of have like a similar role, right? Like, 19 and 20 are supporting, you know, they have the Ki Blast, Nullification, Absorb, right? They heal and super attack. They're kind of like a support utility unit. Birder and Jace can, you know, 60% support to Ginyu. You know, they can triple attack. They have the 50% chance to dodge, right? There's like that type of character that I think is really good as a banner unit. Or there's this. This is like the Raccoon Goldo or STR Cooler Movie Piccolo, where they are juggernauts defensively. This Android 8, once 5 turns have elapsed, this guy can like double-digit tank even Cell Max, right? Because Android 8 here, he gets 20% damage reduction at the start of turn for free. He gets 30% damage reduction with Kid Goku in the same turn. And then he gets another 30% damage reduction after the 5th turn. A beautiful design. I could not have asked for more. This is perfect, right? Because not only is he a great defensive unit, but specifically it's a unit to help Goku out. Kid Goku, right? That's the design. I would really like, if they're going to drop these banner units, don't do what they did with, like, Dokkan Fest Videl, I think is the #1 example, where they drop her. She's super good. At the time, she was, like, the best TUR, right? But then they drop her with that Goten, which was a support unit for, like, the Dokkan Fest Trunks and Goten, who had released the month prior, right? They didn't give Videl one of these types of characters, right? And also, it's a bummer if they drop one of these characters and they're subpar, right? Like Pan, Dokkan Fest Pan got one of these characters that could help her, but that Trunks and Giru, they can look pretty on paper and stuff like that, but once you really get into the shit of difficult fights, that Trunks and Giru, they will evaporate, you know, under the desert sun, man. They do not hold up well against tough enemies. So I love that Kid Goku got this guy, this beast, right? He does his job in slot 1, not even taking damage. It doesn't even matter for the most part, really, how much damage he does, because he's not going to take any damage, right? Kid Goku can very easily triple 10 million attack stat, triple super, triple crit, Kid Goku can, while supporting Android 8, while supporting the rest of rotation, while creating Rainbow Orbs, while, you know, we got 7 Rainbow Orbs with Kid Goku, so now Android 8 gets another 8% chance to crit, 8% damage reduction, right? Kid Goku is just too ridiculous, and I just really love what they did. I feel like Kid Goku and Android 8 are perfect designs. Absolutely outstanding to me is what I think. I'm very, very pleased with them, right? I really, like, a lot of times with characters, you know, like, I could point out, well, there's this problem, this problem, this problem. With both Android 8 and Kid Goku using them a lot, I just really, actually do really like what they did, right? Android 8 has the one thing, sometimes this is an issue, right? And I'm very quick to mention this at times, too, where it's like, this can be an issue unless, right? So Android 8's super attack effect, he gets 50% attack for 1 turn and supreme damage, but no defense. And I do try and emphasize this a lot, that a lot of characters not getting defense on their super attack effect, it is kind of like a death sentence in this meta, right? Like, unless they're designed specifically for, like, super battle road stages with stuns and seals and other various abilities like that, right? Like, Red Zone is where we're going to want to be using brand new characters, and not getting defense is a huge issue. It's not a problem for Android 8, though, because he has all the damage reduction in his passive, right? He doesn't, like, Android 8 can double-digit tank a super attack before he attacks anyway. So him not getting defense on a super attack effect doesn't actually matter, right? Like, I don't think, he doesn't need it, right? So many characters like, yeah, I wish they had it. This guy doesn't have it, but he doesn't need it because of how tight his kit is anyway, right? So, I mean, there's not really too much for us to show, right? I've done many runs where Android 8 has dominated defensively in these red zone runs, along with Kid Goku and stuff like that. I think Android 8 potentially can be a pretty solid option on some other teams as well. Like, I think Android 8 will be decent even without Kid Goku. Early on in the fight, he'll be suspect without Kid Goku, right? So, like, if we're gonna run, right now the Android team, like if I said we're gonna run Android 8 on the Android team, there isn't really an Android team right now, right? Cell leads Android/Cell Saga and Power Absorption, not quite the Android team, right? So Android 8 is not on Cell's team, for example. But in the future, we, you know, the Gamma 1 and 2 or Dragon Ball Super Superhero characters certainly could, you know, bring an Android like sort of like category like buff into the mix, right? Like an actual leader skill. But I do think Android 8 right here, you know, in the future, right, on this Android Saga team, if you can just hide him until turn 5, even with 50% damage reduction, he'll still be capable of helping out, right? He does still have, he has this very nice ability too, where this is starting from the 5th turn, so once he gets the extra 30% damage reduction, and then he also gains like the Whis effect. I believe Whis was the first character that had this, right? Where if you fall below a certain HP threshold, Android 8 will activate a heal. If you fall below 20% HP past turn 5, Android 8 will heal 80% HP, which is just, that actually is like a game winner a lot of times. It could be so good. So this Android 8 on some of these teams, right, he of course will be best with a Kid Goku. So Dragon Ball Saga, we of course have Kid Gokus all over the place. Android team, he won't be able to have a Kid Goku. He's on Movie Hero, the Dokkan Fest Kid Goku, the new one is on Movie Hero, so he'll work well there. Artificial Life Form, no Kid Goku, and then Bond of Friendship, there is a Kid Goku. So 3 of his 5 categories, we have Kid Goku. And then it's just androids and artificial life form where he doesn't. But I could, like, I could see myself, you know, running this Android 8 on a team without Kid Goku, and Android 8 really helping me get W's, right? And of course, we do have full dodge on him. The dodge, there will be times, again, I'll use him without Kid Goku, where the dodge will be helpful, or at the start of the fight, Android 8 potentially could take a lot of damage from some of these losses, right? Like, the AGL Cooler and the Cooler Red Zone fight could do a lot of damage to this guy turn 1, even next to Kid Goku. So a dodge could potentially help out quite a bit, right? Remember, this guy is here for one reason. That's to not take damage. So I just want to maximize his ability to not take damage. Kid Goku doing triple 10 million attack sets can cover it for us, right? Okay, so one thing I guess could be a bit of an issue for him might be his link set. Let's take a look at this. So it's Gentleman. Oh, actually, okay, yeah, Gentleman, Android Assault, Infighter, Tough as Nails, Got Into the Dragon Balls, Incredible Adventure, and Fierce Battle. Gentleman, he might actually Cell a lot of times. Perfect Cell has Gentleman. So there could be times where we could get Gentleman active with Perfect Cell on the Android team. That could be interesting. And that one's not bad, right? That's 2 key and 10% defense, right? Rocking Gentleman on the Android team, that could be pretty good. Android Assault is another crazy defensive link, 2 key, 20% defense. Then, of course, we also have Tough as Nails, right? Which is another 20% defense and 5% damage reduction. This guy is just stacked up on defensive links, which he needs. And we could, yeah, I should, like, a rotation, potentially. Well, the only thing is that this Android 16 needs Android/Cell Saga characters for his guard. That's the only problem there. Yeah, I mean, he does, this guy's got a lot of defensive links, right? You get some of these activated, and whew, boy, right? Like, that could be pretty good. But, even though you could look at his link set, right, with, like, you know, Got Into the Dragon Balls, Incredible Adventure, Infighter, Tough as Nails, Gentleman, and just, like, you'll see a lot of bad links and think he's got a bad link set. It's, you know, similar to, like, Ginyu. But it's like, with Kid Goku, they have Infighter, Incredible Adventure, Got Into the Dragon Balls, and Fierce Battle activated. So we're going to have 4 out of 7 on this perfect rotation for him. So here we're at 458k defense. Jesus, this is... yeah, I mean, he's pretty good, right? He's like, that's with all this level of damage reduction too. Like, he's crazy. All right, let's see this number right here. Remember that Android 8 does get that little buff as well. We definitely already have it activated, judging by how high his defense was, right? Where he gets 80% attack and defense for 5 turns after receiving an attack. But it's just like, this guy is just really good. He also gets 8 key with that too, by the way. So he gets hit, and then for 5 turns, he has the extra 80% attack and defense with the 8 key. Could be useful, right? If, you know, he's not able to get Gentleman or Incredible Adventure up with another character. But yeah, like, we see how dominant this guy is, right? Like, the damage reduction, I feel like the damage he does is, like, actually really good for how defensive he is, right? Like, Android 8, I would be saying Android 8 is the best banner unit, definitely, if he was doing under a 1 million attack stat. I would have the same thoughts about him. I don't think his damage matters in any way, right? But, so, again, understand that I would be okay if he was doing under 1 million damage. Like, Chi-Lai does under 1 million damage, but her roll is not damage, it's fine. Android 8, you know, doing these 4 million attack stats, I mean, I'll take that. On a character that can't be hurt, like, it's crazy, right? So, Android 8 is really good. Let me just get a couple more rotations. I want to get a rotation, I think, with Android 8 and then double Kid Goku. And then maybe a rotation of Android 8, Kid Goku, and then B-Pan's active skill up. Let's just get those rotations. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this dominant Android 8 unit, man. But he's very good. I'm really impressed. I love so much when they are dropping characters like this, where I can't be like, yeah, they're good except for this, and you could take a little bit of the damage away and give it the defense. Like, I've got nothing for that today, right? Android 8 and Kid Goku, it's like, yeah, like, dude, like, 5 stars. Z plus design, right? Like, the characters can be good and have design flaws. Android 8 and Kid Goku, neither of them have design flaws, I think, right? Like, I'm totally cool with how things are with them. 5 million right there for Android 8. Okay, sure. Okay, guys, we got a pretty good rotation right here. This is definitely one of the turns I wanted for Android 8, but unfortunately we haven't been hit by him. We haven't been hit on him, right? So let's just get this rotation right here. Remember, we're getting 100% support on this turn, because both Kid Goku gives, 50% to Android 8. Android 8, of course, also activates Kid Goku's unit super attack. So, like, this would be a crazy rotation. We just haven't been hit yet on Android 8. So, let me just get that, right? Let's just get a rotation where Android 8 has that passive up. We get double Kid Goku, and then I want a rotation of Android 8, Kid Goku, and then B-Pan as well, right? Those are sort of the 2 rotations that I would like to get here, and then we can finish up. Alright, guys, so here's one of the rotations we wanted to get. So, we have Android 8's passive active. Let's go ahead and pop B-Pan's active skill right here. And let's see what damage we can get for Android 8 right here with Kid Goku, and then also with B-Pan's active skill up, right? So we'll get this. And then again, I do want to get a rotation of double Kid Goku as well. 5.93. So he could additional super attack, and he'd be at like 6.5 million or something like that, huh? Not bad for Android 8. Again, on a character that takes no damage, I will take that. Alright, guys, so here is the rotation that we were looking to get. We will have double Kid Goku buffs, so Android 8's getting 100% support on this rotation. Remember, we could get Kid Goku's additional support buff, but it's not, I mean, it's not something that we can visibly see, right? Like, I could turn this on, right? It'll give us the extra damage reduction, as well as the extra crit chance. But again, it's not really something that was going to change like what I'm trying to do right here, which is just get Android 8 like a big high attack stat for him, right? So he's at 448. Again, we have these links activated. Let's see what Android 8 does right here, and then we'll finish up. So let me know what you guys think of Android 8. Haha, there we go. That's why we give him full dodge right there, baby. Although he would have taken double digits anyway. But that's why. Yes, sir. Yeah, dude, Android 8 dropping that boot on fools, like, come on, man, like, I love this. What a great unit. They did a really good job. Alright, this is Do or Die Friendship Power. HACCHAN, Android 8, Aider, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's the same thing. Android 8 is his name. His leader skills, Dragon Ball Saga, category key 3 and 130% of stats. His super attack is the HACCHAN attack. Again, Android 8 attack, Aider attack, whatever you want to say. He greatly raises attack for 1 turn and does supreme damage to the enemy. Again, I don't mind that he doesn't get defense there. It's irrelevant because he's designed to be able to have maximum like defensive ability before he even attacks anyway. So it's no issue there. Totally fine. His passive skill, Name Received from Goku. He gets 80% attack and defense at the start of turn and 20% damage reduction at the start of turn. Then he gets 80% attack and defense and 30% damage reduction if there's an ally whose name includes Kid Goku attacking in the same turn. Then he gets 8 ki and 80% attack and defense for 5 turns after receiving an attack. And then finally, starting from the 5th turn, Android 8 gets another 30% damage reduction, and then he recovers 80% HP once only when HP is 20% or less, right? So, very, very well done. This guy is a defensive god, which, you know, we do need some of these units. I feel like if this is how they're going to make banner units, like this guy, or STR Piccolo, or Rakumen Goldo, right? Like, that perfect, right? They're giving us more good units rather than subpar units. It's funny, banner units, for a lot of the game's lifespan, a lot of times are really not that impressive, right? You go through a lot of the game's history. Many of the banner units really are not that crazy. This guy, he has got to be... I wonder, like, if I would try and evaluate characters, like banner units, by how good they were on release, right? Like, every character in the game, who was the best on release? The answer is STR Gogeta. 1-year anniversary unit, right? But, like, I wonder, between, like, every banner unit, the day they came out, is Android 8 even #1 in that regard? I think he probably is. I can't think of another like, you might catch me in a spot where I say, dude, Android 8, I think he's like a top 10 unit in the game, right? Like, I might have him that high up. I don't know, like, maybe. So, I don't know. This guy's really good. Link set is Gentleman, Android Assault, Infighter, Tough as Nails, Guidance of the Dragon Balls, Incredible Adventure, and Fierce Battle. So, you could look at his Link set and just say it's bad, but it does work well with the characters you need it to work well with, right? Which is good. His 12 Q multiplier is 140%, and then he is on a few category teams here. So he's on the Dragon Ball Saga team, which really badly needed the help. Getting 2 characters added to a category, right, that are, you know, top 10 unit in the game contenders in both Goku and Android 8 is huge, right? Then, of course, there's the Android category team he's also on. Remember that the Android team at the moment doesn't really have, like, a legitimate leader. Cell is good, right? But Cell doesn't lead the Android team. He leads Android Cell Saga and Power Absorption. Movie Hero, of course. Yeah, let's add 2 more top 10 units in the game. The Movie Hero, dude. Like, are you kidding me? Has this year been good enough for Movie Heroes? What the hell, dude? Come on. So we have that. He's also on the Artificial Lifeform team as well. Artificial Lifeform team has gotten a lot of buffs this year too. Yeah, Cell, LR Metal Cooler, now Android 8, not bad. And then finally, Android 8 is on Bond of Friendship, another category that gets insane buffs, right? I mean, yeah, we got Chi-Lai and some of these busted characters, so let me know what you guys think of Android 8. I think he is incredible, fantastic, stupendous, amazing. All that works well. Great unit. Impeccable design. Very well done.